Good morning, and thanks for following through to this little link. This is my home practice space, so welcome. I thought that I would put together just a short sequence, a couple of postures, and only a few minutes, something that we can easily access on a daily basis that can lift the chi in the lungs. And when we lift this chi, or when we start to vitalize and effervesce this bright, sparkling white lung chi, what we're effectively doing is increasing or fortifying the borders or boundaries of immunity in the body. And when we're talking about the edges of everything, autumn gathers from the edges of the day. That's where you first start to detect the autumnal changes as, dawn and dusk. You're going, I need some socks. Where's my cardigan? So, it's very much about the borders and edges. So we can use these lung chi vitalizing techniques to improve the boundary of our own immunity, so that as we move through these unusual times, there's a sense of inner security and inner safety. A couple of things before we start. We're going to be working into lung 1 and lung 2, which are these really critical and very powerful points for the lungs. And you find them by extending your arm out to the side. Bend your arm at your elbow with a little tiny C shape in your fingers, and it'll drop. It'll just come on your own golden mean. It'll drop into this beautiful valley, and you'll feel it's like a little tiny bruise. That's lung 1 and lung 2. So we're going to be working to pound across those points, both sides. The second thing is that we'll be using a fist, thumbs on the inside, the forefingers wrap over the thumb. So it's what we call an optimistic fist. And as we move through these breathing techniques, then please remember that, if I hold you too long and you need to release or take in the breath, just follow that intuition. And if I'm not holding you long enough and you have the capacity to stay longer, then follow that intuition as well. So let's begin. The whole practice actually is done standing. So you can do it in your pajamas. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need incense. You don't need yoga music. Simple. All right, let's come stand on our mats. We want to begin with the feet at hip distance apart. I'm going to stand to the side so you can see easier. And this first one is an inhale, exhale on a cyclic rhythm. So the exhalation sees the knees bend. It's like a chair pose, and the arms extend back behind. The exhalation is through the mouth. It's quite a strong exhalation. So you want to see if you can feel the navel contract back towards the spine with the effort of that. So the exhalation looks like this. Now that'll be followed by inhalation, which brings us to standing. We create our fists and they pound into the chest as we come upright. It's going to be quite a strong pound. You can work quite vigorously here. So let me show you one. Yeah, so we're going to do that on repeat. First one together, and then we're going to roll for about 1.5 minutes just in our own time. Yeah, so I'll keep talking and then you'll keep working on the lungs. So drop the hands down. Let's center ourselves before we begin. Soften or even close your eyes, and you might like to bring your hands to your lower belly. See if you can use the palms as a touchstone, like a geographical landmark, to draw that inhalation all the way in and down to the surface of the palm. Yeah, so from the lower to the middle to the upper, there's this feeling that the lungs fill. Just keep breathing. As you exhale in your own time, see if you can feel the softening that begins around the neck and shoulders, slowly descends down towards the sternum and eventually to that empty point in the pit of the belly. Good, lower the hands. Let's go on this next breath. So deep inhale. On your exhalation, bend the knees and swing the arms back. As you inhale, make fists, palms up, pound. Exhale. Inhale. right, so just keep working on that. Use your own time, use your own pace. You'll start to find as you begin to move through this, that this, a rhythm or a flow starts to manifest. You'll notice that as you come up on the inhale, there's this momentum from the arms behind you, and it's that momentum that just drops into the hollows of the chest. And as it reverberates through the lungs, we pick up the belly and assist with that exhalation to empty, 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 empty. So just a couple more rounds, see how you go. Those that have just a little bit more capacity there or are curious about taking this a little bit further, as you come down on the exhalation, you can take a little puff and hold the breath out for a count or two before sort of slow motion spring rise to bring the arms up towards the chest. Last one. And then just drop the hands down to the sides of the body or hands to the belly. Soften or close your eyes. And just see if you can move into the wake or the residue of that motion, that breath, that offering in the body. You might notice that there's a particular brightness or widening or expansive quality around the upper chest. You might feel that the breath is moving with more resonance down into the lower thirds of the lungs. You might feel that it's moving with more comfort and more ease to the pit of the belly. You might feel that it's shifted slightly, that kind of auric field around the body. So just know whatever you're picking up is correct, and just allow that to kind of bed in and down. Now let's move towards our next technique. So again, I'll just demonstrate. This one has a breath holding to it. So as we inhale, the arms will draw all the way up and we'll make that fist, and this breath will be held. So now with breath held, we're going to pound rhythmically across the chest like so. Yeah, and again, you want to stay within what's comfortable for your breath holding. And it's a similar exhalation. So we'll exhale out, bend the knees, come down and forwards. Only this time I will invite you to puff the breath out and hold it for a moment. So that looks like this. And then we'll inhale and raise the arms up for the second round, where we'll work the base of the lungs and the lower third of the lobes of the lungs. We want to get that deeper quadrant. So let's begin. Again, hands down by the sides of the body. Take a deep inhalation. See if you can feel it building from the lower to the middle to the upper chest as you take all the way in, a little space under the armpits. And then exhale, feel the softness at the collarbones, the contract of the diaphragm, the waist, the pit of the belly. Good, raise the arms on next inhale. We're going to go on this breath. So make a fist with the hands. Hold the breath. Now let's start pounding across the top of the chest. Again, we want to look for those lung 1, lung 2 valley points across the sternum. And it's fine to be quite vigorous here. You can really work this. Okay, it's got a little bit of a Tarzan quality. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's let it go. Exhale. Little puff. Hold it out. Soft face. Okay, from the legs, inhale, rise. Bring the arms all the way back up, second round. Let's go into the base of the lungs now. Right into the bottom, third. See if you can visualize that spongy surface, that beautiful surface area of the lung. Give it a really good working around sternum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out. Now inhale, come to standing, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, either hands down to the sides or down to the space between navel and pubic bone. Hold the breath here for a few rounds. And again, just allow yourself to step into the wake of the practice. You might start to feel now that there is a glow to the surface of the skin. So if you've managed to work it so that you've just pressed a little light perspiration out onto the surface of the skin, then we know that we've really activated the lungs here energetically. It's like a little wave of soft heat. As you inhale and exhale, be really present with the depth, resonance, and width of the breath. And start to be mindful of the back of the lungs as you breathe, the sides underneath the armpits. Feel all of the fullness of this organ. Okay, let's finish by gathering the chi. So drop the hands out to the sides of the body. And as you breathe in, slowly gather up these qualities of autumn, these edges that are strong and gaining strength, these borders and these boundaries. And as you exhale, slowly fill the body with their strength and presence, with their fortification, all the way down through the body. And again, inhale, slowly gathering up all of that field of autumn, all that's available to us through the strength and health of the lungs, and slowly, slowly lower and bring it down, filling the body with that bounty of emptiness. And then dropping the hands out to the sides of the body. Just presence yourself there. And then let's bring the palms of the hands together in prayer in front of the heart and offer gratitude for health and vitality, for strength and wellness, and the capacity to be of service to others inside of that. Namaste.